Hi everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Veronica Danik-Boy. With me as usual are my lovely co-hosts. Hello ladies, you're looking all colorful today.
Excellent morning. You too.
Nima.
And I like the shaky bling bling.
Yeah. I told you.
Thank you.
You will see, you will tire.
Nima, answer me now.
I learned yesterday on the show. So your name is now Veronica.
Veronica.
Even
Yes.
audio, you will. Don't worry, now you go tire.
Hi Tokwe, I love your hair.
Thank you.
I'm jealous actually.
But you can actually, you have the time now to release your natural.
your hair.
No, Vero's hair is beautiful.
So
Oh,
release
wow.
it.
She has really nice hair, but on news she had to,
Yeah.
Yesterday I watched the clip that was on Instagram and I didn't like what my hair looked like. I was like, this is my hair. No, I'm going to do something about it today. So I did. But I'm feeling very, very grateful and reflective. I was in Nima's reflective mood. I was remembering something that happened as I was coming into TVC. I saw the office where I had my miscarriage, and I remembered the process of the bleeding and how terrible it felt. And what I just thought of was, many of us feel terrible when something bad happens, but if we can just remain hopeful, you will see many other good things to come, but we tend to just focus on that moment when terrible things happen to you. It was just like, the place had been remade, and I was thinking that this entire drama happened here, and it was like my life was going to be over, but I thank God that it's passed. I got pregnant again. I had a safe delivery.
You have
Life,
three hot
do you understand?
boys.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That you not
Don't
until we come
stay-
to that point of
Yes.
understanding that certain things happen just for a moment.
Yeah, and
move
don't
forward.
don't
stay
wallow
there.
in that
Don't
space
stay
of,
there.
Nima.
Nima, you were not here yesterday.
I wasn't. I'd like to share Tokwe's reflective mood to extend my condolences to a friend who lost her dad this morning, and she was told, I drop her off every morning, and he's been sick, but I knew it was almost fatal when she called me yesterday that now they need to do dialysis for. I was like, dialysis? That wasn't the situation. We're talking about enlarged prostate and now dialysis. That I knew it was almost fatal, but I didn't know how to be that. And I used to be the person that would just say it as it is. But how do you say such a thing as it is to someone going through that phase? And this morning I just kept saying to her, but you knew you should be stronger because you knew it was most likely to happen. But all she could remember was his last moment. He was in serious pains. At some point he lost his memory and she felt really bad. My heart goes to her. Like Tokwe says, you see, things happen for a reason. Like I said to her this morning, would you rather that he lost every organ and he suffered for long, or that it happened as it did? So that would alone help you find closure on time and accept what has happened. I just pray that she's strong.
It's difficult for us to accept such things. It
For
reminds
now,
me when I
later,
lost my
with time.
dad, as you were talking about it. It was a painful moment, even though I've gotten over it for a bit, but I'm still trying to
Yes.
You'll be
get a
alright,
grip of it.
last.
Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah, it's a Thursday, reflective
Reflective.
Thursday. So I was having a conversation. I think about day before yesterday, my husband just checked his wallet. He's been keeping $1,000 in his wallet for a while now because he wanted to change his phone, which he did not change when we traveled. He was doing a lot of akagom to himself. He likes to do akagom to himself. He insists that you have to get it for you. So he's kept that money in his wallet. I totally forgot. I would have even asked, have you changed it? Have you got it? He just called me and said, did you take $300 from... I said, how? When? How? I can't take... If I want your money, I know how to intimidate you to give me the money. I can't steal it. And then he started thinking, who could have taken it? Did he leave the wallet in his car? No. He was like, no, a thief cannot take this money. The thief would have taken everything, not leave some. I said, would you have preferred if the thief took everything? With the way you're feeling right now, and there's no cash anywhere except this right now. He said, you have a point. At least the thief pitied me and left 700. So I said, my dear, change it and get what you need to get. You don't
That's
carry
it.
such
You should
amount
just
of
thank
money.
God.
Yes,
No matter what happens.
in everything.
Yes.
Give thanks.
Reflective
reflective Thursday. it is.
Thursday.
Well, but then it's been a wonderful week. I've been looking through all the processes I've been through Monday to now with you guys, and I've seen it's been an interesting time. Veronica. Well, we need to take a break. When we return, we review the news headlines. Stay with us. All right, thanks for staying with us. We'll start with the Punch, and the major headline here says NBA sans kick as FG orders freezing of CJN's bank accounts. We'll find that story on page 2. Well, Boko Haram sponsored by forces outside Nigeria. That's Buhari, page 7. Well, Fountain Varsity probes Dawn for attacking students who refused to cut grass. Pages 4 and 5. Interesting. Police portal closes 315, 32 apply for 10,000 vacancies. Wow. NNPC is a mafia organization. I'll privatize it, says Atiku. Well, acting IG blames rot in Nigeria police force on weak leadership. You find the story on page 2. Inflation rate hits 11.44%. Ex-NAF chief Amosu forfeits 2.2 billion naira to the federal government. To go to court, Oshibajo tells restructuring advocates. Power distributors owe NBET 108 billion naira in 3 months. Who has what story?
So the Fountain, the human angle story there. Yeah. The Fountain University in Osogbo, Osun State, the Dean of Student Affairs attacked a 300-level student, met him and asked him to clear grass. He was carrying a cutlass when he met the student, asked him to clear grass. The student refused. Why are you asking me to clear grass? I'm not here to clear grass. Okay, what's your matriculation number? The student refused. I'm not giving you my matriculation number. And then he attacked him with a machete and he got him injured. So the student has been rushed. Thank God, thankfully, they had students around and officers, lecturers, so they rushed him to the hospital. Now the NUC, one of the officers of the National Universities Commission is telling the parents of the child that you can actually write to the school to explain to you what really happened. Because this is, excuse me, this is a university and so you are not allowed, they have cleaners. Exactly, they have cleaners, they have people who take care of the compound. Why are they asking students to clear grass? And this is not the first time that attack is happening.
May I just quickly say
other
to
students as well.
The Dean of Student Affairs of Fountain University that whether or not in the university, what he just did is criminal assault, and it could have been with the intention to cause grievous bodily harm or even murder, and that is what it would be charged for. The families of these students should just quickly make a report to the nearest police station and have him arrested and charged for this crime. Whether they cut grass, those are not issues. The main issue now is that he committed the crime, he attacked him, and if he's psychologically fine, something serious
should be tested.
All right, the IG story.
So when I first read it, I felt this is indicting his his boss. But when I read through, it wasn't pointing finger at one person. His statement was the IGP, while getting the handover notes and passing on the police flag on Wednesday, mentioned that we have seated in his presence within the police force strong, able police officers who just want exemplary leadership, and that the rot we see in the Nigerian police force right now is because we have not had enough selfless leadership at the position of power within. Yes, yes. He said we want all of you. From my experience, all you want is a transparent, responsive, motivational, and accountable, knowledgeable leader who will not only treat you with dignity, but is also sensitive to your welfare and is fair in matters of promotion.
And their welfare has been a major issue over time now.
So he's promising to
quickly tie that story to his new appointment of the new PRO of the Nigerian Police Force, who is now Frank Kumba. We know his pedigree. He was the PRO in Lagos. And we know because of the caliber of person he has made the PRO now, that this new IGP knows his onions.
All right.
The former PRO had too many face-off, and the former IGP allowed it happen where a PRO will address a state sitting governor, an elected first person of a state, as someone that is crying or you should throw stone or self-help or those kind of insulting words. But we know now that the new reshuffling happening is showing true leadership.
Okay, let's go to the nation now. Major headline, CCT trial, federal government freezes on August 5 accounts. AGF writes NFIU, why NJC can't try CJN by Sage. Cop defends CJN. And then we have Magu detectives in Ghana to block slush funds. Don't vote PDP, Buhari urges Nigerians. Ex-chief of air staff Amosu loses 2.2 billion naira. We are good to go, says INEC chairman. IG massive deployment coming. May wins no confidence vote. Early exit for Quadri. Others. 7 kidnapped suspects held in Ondo. Who has that kidnap story?
I have the kidnap.
I wanted to take the major headline quickly.
All right, major headline.
Do you want to take?
Quickly,
Okay,
quickly, Nima.
So the major headline, Professor Esesage and on the CCT issue around Onogen is finally giving a different view from all the SCNs in Nigeria, saying that the nature of the CCT is not one that, you will put aside until the NJC reaches a conclusion. And once the NJC reaches a conclusion on the personality of the CJN, removes him from office, he ceases to become to remain a public officer and no longer triable under the CCT. So this is the SAN, all of them reaching this decision that he must face the NJC first, must understand the nature of the court, of the kind of court the CCT is, and why the Constitution makes it a separate kind of court. So what the arraignment is in line, and that everybody is complaining about why Onogen should be brought before the CCT. Is a public officer, and as the NJC is constituted, is still the head of the NJC, will be contravening the number one principle of natural justice, which is that he will be sitting over his own case.
I'm sure in the next few hours another legal luminary would come up with another reason why he shouldn't face it. However, I was searching for the CCT, any CCT trial that has successfully gone through concerning the declaration and of assets, and I haven't seen. Yes, I haven't seen yet. So this may set the precedence. Yeah. I want everything, the rule of law, to be followed to the highest level, and there should be no partiality in the dispensation of this rule of law.
Indeed.
Do we have time for the kidnappers here? Quickly. So the men of the Joint Security Task Force put in place by the Ondo State government apprehended 7 alleged kidnappers. They were caught in their hideouts. They had guns, about 20 guns, 15 cutlasses. They had charms. They had money with them. So they've been arrested. And 2 other informants who kept telling them where the police was for them to hide were caught. 2 of them, they participated in a murder in February of a 75-year-old woman. So this is a case I would like to see how, because we hear they've been arrested, and we don't have a follow-up on what's happening with their prosecution.
All right, another major headline from the Nigerian Tribune. We have elections, neutrality of security services are worry. US, as US, UK, EU meet INEC, seek free and fair process. I'm smiling because we had this discussion yesterday.
Why are you smiling?
So, well, moving on, Oshibajo sad over Onogen, says Buhari unaware of arraignment until Saturday. Onogen's CCT trial in order. Sagi, AGF's letter to NFIU on freezing CJN's account trends on social media. Well, Atiku promises to build a $1 trillion economy. Court orders final forfeiture of ex-chief of staff Amosu's 2.2 billion naira. Wike kicks off state campaign, says APC has lost political struggle. Inflation rises to 11.44%. So minimum wage, Labour promises tough time for dissenting governors.
Wow.
So Amosu finally loses his 2.2 billion, which is the amount that was found in his possession at his house, and there was a temporary forfeiture. Failure of which to establish
how did he get the money?
How legitimate, or whether he had got this money through legitimate means. Okay. Of course, the court will permanently forfeit it, which is why he lost this money alongside other properties that he failed also to prove legitimate source of. So we have a good one.
All right, the minimum wage story.
Yes. So NLC is saying that they are really going tough on any governor who is not able to pay, according to them. And one of the members of the tripartite committee said also that the federal government is able to pay that 30,000 naira minimum wage. And if there's any governor who is not able to pay, they should report to Labour for Labour to take it up. So they are really serious about this whole thing. I pray that
that's because some governors had come out to say that they can't afford to pay that. But let's see how it goes.
I wanted to hear the story of this our observers coming in.
No, we had the discussion yesterday, so we can just...
I had a personal opinion about it yesterday. The criticism, of course, is that, we are every country is a sovereign country, and they are just observers, and they should limit it to that. But they've been criticized over the time. And recently, in Jonathan's book, as having too much influence in countries and helping somehow to determine.
I need to quickly take the headlines from the Daily Sun quickly. Major headline: federal government moves to freeze CJN's bank accounts. Writes NFIU on domiciliary local accounts. We are not aware, says Onogen. AGF keeps mum. Saraki once again do or die elections. Nigerian envoy dies in Côte d'Ivoire. IGP talks tough on elections. PSC once against illegal transfer of CPs. Gun attack on Kalu averted. Now, farmers headers clashes, federal government states plans, cattle routes, ranches. Elite responsible for crisis, Buhari. How Buhari knew about Onogan's case, Oshibaju, CCT serves notice. Who has any story here?
The Cote d'Ivoire, the Nigerian ambassador quickly we give like a condolence to him. He died at 59, and he died after a protracted illness.
All right.
So we just
we've run out of time.
I have just one story about Atiku, and he was addressing a press conference yesterday. He mentioned that there are 2 mafia organizations in Nigeria that are crippling Nigeria's economy so far. Says that it is the NNPC and NEPA, PHCN right now, that if it will cost him his life, he would ensure it is the NNPC is privatized completely. And
but
so
we know how privatization has gone in the country, so that's another angle to look at it. But on that note, we need to wrap up the newspaper headlines. But next, should Nigerian couples begin to consider signing a prenuptial agreement? Stay with us. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Well, thanks for staying with us. Now, gone are the days when couples feel like nothing can separate them or their relationship. Well, but a lot of things have changed as we hear of different stories. For instance, issues of signing a prenuptial agreement before getting married have left a lot of couples separated or in a long-run divorce. Join the conversation on 0708-066-8014. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Prenuptial agreement, should that be something we should introduce in Nigeria?
Maybe we should define
what
for those that have no idea
what prenuptial agreement
is.
I have the dictionary meaning here.
Oh, yeah, now.
So it's an agreement made by a couple before they marry concerning the ownership of their respective assets should the marriage fail.
So what that guards against is that beyond the laws of the land, whatever that law is concerning how properties are shared, in the case of divorce, the prenuptial agreement takes precedence, right? Like it goes ahead. So even if the law says that you're supposed to, the man owns everything, if the prenuptial agreement carries that it's 50-50, it'll be 50-50. If he says it's 20-30, it's 20-30. Whichever way they decide pre-marriage. It's a foreign concept to us
yes, that is what I was going to say. This is
very foreign
to us.
But Nima would have many stories of how not having a clear agreement on how whatever income we have, or not having a will or a proper statement, because will is for death, but prenuptial agreement is for divorce. Not having it clearly made would make divorce more complicated, especially when you have large sum of money
Perhaps it's because
involved.
people do not think that divorce is part of the equation when they are getting into marriage.
Before
it's like
Nima comes in from her law angle, because I know she's loaded and she's ready.
Hold on, see, we are not going legal yet. If you want that, we will get a lawyer. Now, this conversation is one thing that someone was saying to me this morning we should shy away from, because you might be promoting divorce, but divorce happen every day.
Of course.
And why in America, Amazon and his wife's divorce is generating topics around prenups and how it should be properly done. We are here saying it's a strange concept. But in Nigeria here, we see what women do, what other men do, what a couple, one person in a marriage does for the other person who is in the limelight to grow. And then when a divorce happens, we don't consider here who is dependent. In the abroad, it's not only prenups that they do. So if one couple like in Mary J. Blige's divorce is dependent on the other, which was the case, she was a rich and her husband was dependent on her. They had an agreement where she was paying alimony, which is strange, which cannot even happen here. And here we are even talking woman paying man. What is even worse that cannot happen is that women have rights
to claim 50%.
50%. Even
where are you coming
5% husband assets. What we do here, while daily in my own experience, in my practice, facing issues of asking for maintenance for children. When a divorce happens and custody is with one party, you are begging for maintenance. A man can decide that, okay, take your divorce, I will suffer, you pack all your children, and you will refuse. This is a duty that he owes under the law in any climate, whichever you want to look at it, and he will say, I would not pay. and nobody would be able to do anything.
To do
the
anything,
woman would have to go
enforcement.
You know, even the fact that she has to go get lawyers to get this right. There's a lady presently in December who I tried to do things for. I even sent a letter out, and her husband refused to respond because he knows that, you know, it will cost her money to bring an action. It's not that if she goes to court, she won't get this custody, but she doesn't have the money. And he is holding on to her children as punishment. These are things that every day we should now...
We face these things. We hear
So
the stories every day.
If we had legislation like they do abroad, where if the marriage happened without a prenup that decided which asset was going which way after a divorce, they share everything equally, like the Amazon case.
Okay, but
so
like we said,
also
this prenup thing is
children go.
alien to our society. Perhaps you come up with something.
Aside from that,
Maintenance is
a lot of people believe that when you are getting into marriage, you should be getting in with the hope that it's going to last forever. Till death do us part. And that's what they preach. So, but, you know, when you now talk about let's sign something in case something happens, they look at you like, are you planning that along the line you fall out of love with me? God forbid, it's not my portion and all of that. But we've seen cases where at the end of the day, it happens. I had a friend who, the husband struggled to see her through school and everything. She came out, he was selling his properties to make sure that she was established. And when she became established, she fell in love with somebody else and left him. So the guy is suffering today. So it's not just the man that it happens to, or it's just the man that, you know, shows the woman that side. The women as well do the same thing. But if we have an agreement, if it's in the law that when you get legally married, you should have certain things that you sign, like the prenuptial, so that if anything happens, the two of you are, there's like a cushion to protect you. I think it would be better.
The prenuptial agreement is mainly signed, even abroad, for wealthy relationships. It is not by those two lovebirds. Usually they are lovebirds, but when the man has an estate of high value, the legal people around him would advise him that a lot of people are going to try to take advantage of you. So even though you're in love, can we protect the estates? Let your love blossom, but let your money not be in line to be, let there be no risk concerning your money. So this issue of prenuptial agreement is usually comes in when there is a lot of money involved in the marriage.
Well, you know, some of them have refused to sign this prenuptial agreement.
Because they feel like there's so much love between them. But
not just that, some do not want to share.
They don't want to share, they don't
No,
want
no,
to
no,
lose
no,
their
no,
estates.
let me explain.
Some don't want
Prenuptial
to.
agreement is not for 50-50 sharing. Actually, the fact about prenuptial agreement is more to protect you from taking my money. The law on grounds, the country, the Western world protects the women so much. They protect the weaker person.
So you know, we must agree that some women are marrying for this money.
Of course.
So those are the situations when that suspicion exists. You take care of it with a prenup. So the person has a clear chance to prove their love.
This is pure love. So the idea of prenup is not to protect the weaker. Is not to protect the weaker party. The law in Western world already protects whoever is earning less in the marriage. That is what I feel that Nigeria and Africa should push for.
But with our culture and the issue of culture, religion, you know how we take these things.
I think that we must begin to evolve to the extent that we don't ignore the reality on ground that people get divorced, and that whenever they go, and when they get divorced, one person would always suffer.
Let's talk what is culturally, how we got here as a nation first. So in Africa, the man is supposed to have land, be a farmer, marry the women as assets to till the soil, born children, and make more money. So you're already a property to someone. When you decide to leave, it means that you don't have land, you cannot feed. So as things grew, women started inheriting and decided that, okay, since your father can marry more, I will just leave my estate for my children, and it continued like that. That's why it seems strange, and we're not looking towards it. I would love that, you know, houses of assembly, National Assembly, are putting marital laws on ground to protect and provide for these things that, you know, we're scared of. So if women had more confidence knowing that I'm entitled to maintenance, I'm entitled to custody, I'm entitled to this and that, or men knew that if I was dependent on my wife, she's the richer one, I'm entitled to alimony from her, we can have proper debates happen. Do you understand? We or you know,
aside from that,
back to our culture.
most of the deaths that are resulting from domestic violence happen because there's dependency
On one partner.
on one party.
Yeah.
So abuse is propagated. But when somebody being abused knows for a fact that I am protected, I wouldn't lose my source of income because of this man.
There are
even
several
brings me
issues
back
that we'll
to-
trash about
Okay.
this. But let me quickly take this call. Femi is on the line calling from Abuja. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to the crew.
Morning.
This is my first time of calling in.
Welcome to the show.
Wow, it's been a very, very important topic this morning. I've always tried to call in and also contribute to most of the issues on the programs.
Okay.
And I think these issues, I want to look at it as the other act of African. We are not used to this kind of even so-called court divorce today. How many men who really
Married legally.
abide with the rules? You know, a lot of people hide under the so-called divorce and feel okay. If I get divorced, at least I can move on with my life. The man will not care how the wife will survive with 2-3 children after the whole thing got. I think the problem is the society. And,
All right.
We have to.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much for calling in.
I would quickly add that while we're looking at, having these laws that will protect marriages and divorce, let's even go back to how the marriages were contracted in the first place. This our mentality of buying a wife, where you spend so much paying the bride price, then you have acquired the property. Now, the property cannot suddenly want to now have some part of your property because you bought her already. So
where the woman has suffered with you?
No, they see it as you are my property, I bought you. So whether you suffer or not, nobody's looking at that.
And the person marrying Dangote's daughter uncle.
Oh,
You must sign prenuptial.
Which property?
Because some people marry rich people. We've had scams that men would deliberately go and marry a rich person because they want to be linked to that money.
We should
look at
counter
everything
this
from the
prenuptial
beginning.
of property. That,
Quickly, because we need to
mentioned.
take a break.
Because the truth is, most men know today, my dowry is about 200 naira.
That's your dowry.
No, that's what is on the list. So is it the same, would the same laws apply? What will exactly my husband be paying for if he said he bought me? Do you understand? So if someone were asking me, would I feel entitled to have his estate if it was an Amazon in the future? Of course, yes.
That's a few cultures that pay that little.
Yes, with all my rest. Because now we are doing the
With all my
Because it's just 200 naira after
all right, we need to take this break, and when we return, we'll talk more on this topic. Perhaps our guest will join us then.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us on the show is a beautiful Nigerian actor, Aduni Ade. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
You look so beautiful. Oh,
She is
beautiful. I don't like that you look so beautiful.
she is beautiful.
Thank
I know.
you. Thank you.
Well, you can join the conversation on 07080668014. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Now, before you came on set, we were talking about we having a prenuptial agreement before people get married. What are your views on that? Because there's been several divorces, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, and all of that. And so we are looking at, okay, should Nigeria even, look at having that?
Yeah.
So let me throw it to you this way. Like, imagine you've been acting for a couple of years. Let's say that the blow becomes very financial. You know, the way we see it in like the J-Lo
Hollywood,
and all of that in
yeah.
Hollywood, and then you have this and this estate, a lot of money, and you decide to get married, and you know you are so in love, you fall in love with a humble person.
Hey.
Would you want to protect your estate, or
Your
you would leave it to
properties,
love?
your money and all of that.
I'm putting you on the spot, Abby.
Yeah.
But you know
You
what?
still
this
don't want
marriage-
to talk about that. She doesn't want to talk about
See, we talk. Marrying under the act means that you become next of kin to him, he becomes next of kin to you. You might have other family members you love. Your mom might be alive, someone else that you know has made the sacrifice for you, which is why most people will say, let's look at it. Or would you feel entitled if you were marrying a Dangote, for instance, that let me just marry this guy without prenup so that in case of anything, or if you married him innocently, not expecting, and he grew into wealth like Jeff Bezos, and you think, and the divorce happened, would you fight to
claim?
get half of the estate? Would you lay claim to that?
You have to settle your partner with something. But saying half, I don't know. But I think it just depends on the situation. If you guys grew together and the wealth came later on, maybe yes. You should be entitled to more, you know.
Most Nigerians will say no, because no matter what, it's a man-woman world. So
Yeah.
it's a man's
No.
world. Man should
Patriarchy.
take everything. Patriarchy and
No,
all that.
no,
And
no.
women should just go and start from scratch.
No, darling, you have to settle the woman one way or the other, especially if you guys have children involved.
Even
So you
without
have
children.
to, yeah, especially,
Whatever it is.
yeah,
For the time
Human
spent.
should
you
be
have to,
yes,
you
be
have to
settled.
settle
Yeah.
your woman or your ex either way.
I have a true life story of a successful man, very successful, married his wife, who was enterprising, and then he just set up a business for the woman, and she went into oil and gas, and she became super wealthy. And he started threatening their marriage because they've had kids, but it was just, they kept having issues based on she's traveling, she wants to go and sign one contract in Abuja, she's going here, she's going there.
Became too busy for the home.
Long and short, they got divorced. His business went down. Her business is successful. He had to relocate out of Nigeria because he couldn't just stand it. And she's here, she's still doing very well. He's struggling in Canada. Now, when family members, every time they talk about that story, they keep looking at it like this woman just milked the man and took the best of him and left.
But you know, people are always going to talk, regardless of what they know, whether they know a lot or even a little bit. Whatever is going to be beneficial to them is what they're going to say and make the other person look bad.
So do you think she should have given the man something substantial?
I mean, she could have, out of the kindness of her heart. She could have.
How many people
She could
the
have.
kindness of their hearts?
She could have. Now, depending on, everything has a reason, depending on what separated them.
Yeah.
Was it infidelity? Was it they grew out of love? Was it jealousy?
Okay, well,
There
how
has to
about
be
a situation
reason.
where the man is educated, married woman that is uneducated, and perhaps this woman suffered with him over time, money came in, and then he became, ashamed of the woman, so to speak.
Well, it happens.
It happens.
That's not nice.
And then
That's
he's saying,
not
I
fair.
can't take you out. He begins to have an affair.
That's wrong. And yes, he should pay his wife. You better.
I think we should talk about how to quantify what goes where.
Yeah.
So how much would you give to a woman based on what sacrifices you think she made?
Can we
Some men
quantify
will say,
sacrifice?
No. Can't
okay,
quantify
I am the business one. I have the business inclination. I did the work. I got the money. I got the loans. I did everything. You were just in the house, taking care of the children. Which is why some women will say, I will never sit at home. I must be seen as working.
Can she ever be
contributing."
paid? Well, we
Can
have-
you pay a woman for just raising your children right?
All
Is
right,
that-
before you answer that question, let's quickly take Muhammad's call from Kaduna. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, lady.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to give an insight of what a nuptial means. So, Pre-Nuptial, there's a book I read about nuptial numbers. There's mathematical number for reasoning. And they even said two good people will produce two good offspring. If I were bad people and a good person, definitely it will be a bad person. Bad person plus bad person is also a bad person.
So that's the nuptial numbers for reasoning and for marriage too. So in our Nigerian context here, the fact is we don't have that kind of reasoning because most of our marriage is based on religion, it's based on faith. But the Western people, their marriage is based on material things. That's for a fact. So that is why they always go into signing before the marriage. So it's not common in Africa because Africa is always presumed that the man is the head of the house.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution.
So
the
issue for me when it comes to, the way we see women as just sitting back at home and taking care of children, we have all passed through that here. And we know that is a lot of work. The fact that I handle the kids, I handle the home, I do the planning in the home. When you come back, you meet a home. When you get back, first of all, it's enough work for me because a lot of women cannot even do that. That's why a lot of them run away and they want to work because to stay home from morning till night, taking care of the children, managing what's happening in the house, providing that peace. If you don't have that peace of mind as a man, you will not make that money. So do you think that even if anything happens, that because probably I wasn't contributing financially, you should, let go?
It's intangible.
No,
It's intangible.
But it's work. It's not intangible.
In Africa,
work.
we don't appreciate what you cannot,
not.
You can't see.
You
We don't
can't see.
appreciate the
Perhaps we need
things.
to understand what she means by intangible.
So if our emotions are intangible, you can't see it,
It's
you
not
can't
emotions.
touch
I'm
it.
taking care of the children.
Those things you cannot. The truth of the matter is that we are not able to say this is the value of you giving birth. How can you what value you put on me putting
they
going through
can't be
labor?
quantified.
You can't. It's unquantifiable. So we have a wrong value. It depends on who you're dealing with and what value the person places on family structure.
What Tokwe said is why we are where we are.
Exactly.
It's because people think it is not quantifiable.
It's intangible.
In
You
some
can't see
climes,
it.
and we are talking of back
They
in the
pay
days,
them.
in Arab,
The Arab.
among the Arabs, they pay for breastfeeding.
Yes.
A woman can decide, I don't want a saggy breast, so I won't breastfeed your child, and
There's
she
nothing
gave
you can
birth
do
to that
about it.
child.
Why
You
did she
get
get
a
married?
nursing mother.
Why
And
did
you-
she get married?
Listen, you get a nursing
Why did she
mother.
decide to have a child?
See,
No, why did she decide to have a child?
I've
Hold on,
never
hold on.
heard that.
Why? Those wives are not. Marriage
They are
for
not?
them, wait, those wives,
You should
wait,
know that
hold
this is
on,
what you're getting
hold
into,
on. Marriage
isn't
for
it?
them
I'm
are
not
alliances. Hold on, marriage for them are
Yes.
alliances.
Yeah.
They're contractual. So I'm coming into your house, I'm not going to lose anything important in me. I want to have a child for you. You must foot that bill.
Bagan.
So those are, we come here, a woman will do all that for you, like Obiajulu says. It is that sane mind that you have because
That make you
someone
make
is
that
taking
money.
care of that problem.
Yeah.
Why do most women suffer after divorce? Because they they go away with the problems. The woman will be the one to wonder what the child will eat and everything, and then she's distracted from her goals.
Yes.
Eventually, she would
She
have to
doesn't have
sacrifice.
goals.
So
Perhaps
if you quantify it from that side, of course you will know.
All right.
It's
Perhaps
quantifiable.
our caller from Calabar will have a different view. Well, I'm told that we lost that call. But
So let's say tweets.
Let me look for tweets.
Korede says prenuptial agreement. I think it's not advisable here in this part of the world. But if
Why?
you want, you can go on with it because many people would enter into or fall into false marriages based on this and file for divorce later knowing the benefits attached. Bello Monsuru says, good morning ladies, you're looking beautiful, but I don't believe in signing any agreement with my partner is a good idea because one party should learn how to be less submissive to themselves and respect each other. Philip Timilein says, a couple can get married poor and get rich after years in marriage. It's better to sign a prenup. I can't lose half of my wealth to a woman that breaks my heart. What he doesn't know is that you can't do a prenup on existing assets. So a prenup will be done on the assets you already have before the marriage. What you gain or earn together as a couple would fall under the divorce rule to be divided.
Do we
Quickly,
have time for
because
two more tweets?
quickly,
Okay, Gat
quickly.
says, when two people who claim to be in love start talking about prenuptial agreements, you know that
love
it's
this
either
question.
one of them is possessed with demons or both of them are possessed with demons. Mr. PJ says, this prenuptial signing thing is for those who are uber rich or super rich,
Exactly.
who no get money, go they remember that kind thing.
exactly.
What I
Those
think
ones they
should be
love, Abi.
introduced is a kind of signing that ensures
yes,
that the
that's
man
what I'm
keeps
thinking. Nigeria
playing
should
his
come up
part
with its own
in an
whatever.
event of separation. I think
Yeah.
that's where we should even start from as a
It's
country.
legislation that we need.
Yeah,
Of course. And then we'll take this break. When we return, we'll be speaking with Aduni Ade, her views on everything that has to do with Aduni Ade, right?
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Remember, you can join the conversation. 0708066814 is the number to call. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. And remember, we've told you before the break that we have Aduni Ade in the studio. I watched that's your skit you did, Dates Gone Bad.
That's years ago.
Years ago, and I'm like, the way you switched, quite interesting. Now, a lot of people have been doing the 10-year challenge and all of that. 2014, you came back to Nigeria, if I'm correct?
2012.
2012. So, how has it been 8 years ago, looking back?
Okay. You just have to have this mindset of doing the best you can and making a name for yourself. There are going to be hurdles, there are going to be problems along the way, but you have to stay focused, you have to stay determined, and just mind your business and focus on your goals.
So what would you call the edge that you have against your counterparts that you met in the business, in the movie business when you came back? Is it the fair skin? Is it the accent?
I wish. Accent. It's not the accent. So I think
it's the Yoruba that you even have as that I feel is your edge.
Yeah. No, I had to literally, fight for myself, not physically, but I just had to stay determined. I had to stay focused because people will frustrate you in this country. Everyone has their own what is it? Their own talks, and she's made it this far because of her color. She's made it this far because of whatever reason that may come up to them. But I think it's the grace of God and how determined I am.
Yeah, you mentioned about minding your business. So I know that the industry is quite competitive. And
very.
Yeah, and people are looking at what other people are doing. Okay, is she doing better than me? Am I
What
going
is she
to,
wearing? What is she driving?
What is this?
Where is she living?
They analyze you by the car that you drive.
In fact, it's very
how are
sensitive.
you able to stay above all that and still manage to focus?
Are you above all of that?
Are you above
manage
that?
to focus
Does it bother
on
you?
your work?
When you say what bothers me, what?
Those kind of
the
things,
gossip, the
competition.
measuring, like, is
competition.
she using
I'm
gold?
human.
Is she wearing designer?
I am human. So there are some things that will be said about you that might tick you off. But just take a deep breath. What's that? And keep going. If you need to defend yourself in certain areas and aspects, do that.
So I discovered my cousin from a foreign movie. She was born abroad, and I saw the surname. I said, you cannot have a cookie as your surname and not be my cousin.
I don't get.
So I googled and found out she was an uncle's daughter.
Okay.
But she remained in the UK. She doesn't want to come here. What brought you back home? What's the difference?
Motivation.
Is it patriotism? Is it more money? What exactly?
Okay, before you answer that, let's quickly take this call from Alaji Kiwa from Badagry. Welcome to the show.
Oh, Badagry.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, beautiful ladies. I'm calling just because of Aduni Ade. Yeah, Aduni Ade, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Yeah, this is Alaji Giwa, a junior brother to your father.
See the way she screamed.
Well, she first went soft when she heard Badagry.
Badagry, yes.
Yes, that's where my dad is
We
from.
were together last week. You were at the burial of your uncle.
Yes, sir.
So how are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. How is my brother?
Very well, sir.
All right, Alaji Kiwa, I'm afraid we need to let this call go because we're running out of time and we still have questions
So,
for her
Nima
quickly.
asked you a question. Really, does it not tickle you sometimes? Don't you feel like I should just
Go back.
let me just escape?
Patriotism.
Wait, look, the same problems we face here, we face over there. Why did I come here? I really don't know. I really don't know. I was the kind of person when I finished secondary school, I said, never. I'm not coming back here. But look at me, I'm here.
Found your way
All
back.
right, now that you're here, two questions quickly. When you return, there's this thing about ladies saying, talking about abuse in the industry, sexually being abused or sexually being harassed. Have you witnessed that? Did you witness that in any way, at any point? You didn't get that?
We don't suffer that.
Darling,
You suffer that.
don't let
not
the
for
smile
everybody.
fool you.
Okay, so I want to ask you this.
It's how you carry yourself and how you present yourself. How you come into the industry matters a lot. If you come in as someone who is very desperate. They're going to take that, they're going to run with that and use that as an opportunity to do and undo. But when you come here and you stand your ground and say, yes, I want to make a name for myself, but do it the right way, who is going to come and do that? They might try, but you know, it's left to you
to determine what you want.
But
so I
yeah.
wanted to ask you about your Yoruba. And it's an impressive thing to know that you could easily just switch. Do you think that it was, how do you feel about those that come back and they gum the assets? The accents, and they just hold on to it like, yeah, in it, like 6 months in UK and they are in it everywhere. And you came back and you decided to get into the Yoruba industry, don't let anything hold you back. What would you say concerning it? And how does it make you feel?
Everything that I am today is what I was taught at home here in Nigeria. So I was raised by my dad and my stepmom and my father's family, pretty much. And everything that I am today, I learned it from here. So home training matters a lot. How fortunate, how exposed you are, how grounded you are matters a lot as you grow older. And I've been fortunate enough to taste both sides of life, the hardship side and, you know, the good side. So you have to have this as well and know how to present yourself in public, know how to relate with everyone. Everything is not packaging, you understand? Put me anywhere. Put me with the high and mighty. Put me with the streets. I can switch at any time. I will know how to relate with you one-on-one.
That's good. So my question is, have you made your millions yet? Have you like, we have this, these young people these days don't want to settle and work. They just want to get into the industry and blow. I like that word, blow. Blowing this year. You know, so how would you advise someone who's getting into the entertainment industry? Is it everything we see out there that is real, or do I need to put in the work? Do I need to make sure that I have that talent? And
in everything you do, you have to put in the work. You have to. I will never respect you if, you know, you just blew just like that, boom. I won't. You have to work. You have to put in, you have to make a name for yourself. For anyone who is trying to become anything in life, you have to be determined and make sure you're going into it for the right reasons. Not to blow.
Some of the right reasons.
Some of the right reasons, because it's your passion.
Okay.
Whether you want to be a doctor, an actor, whatever it is, make sure it's your passion. It's something you love to do. It's something you want to do and make a change and difference in others' lives.
Because we're wrapping up, and I'm certain that people want to, know about these things. Now, you know that in Nigeria, there's this thing about single mothers. People stigmatize them sometimes. So how has it been coping as a single mother? And then, do you see yourself giving a relationship or marriage a chance?
Well, let me just correct this, because a lot of people don't know this. I have never been married. Yes, I was with their dad. He was my first. We were together for a long time. I was engaged to him or with him, but we never got married. Now, am I giving love a second chance? Heck yeah. I'm a human being. You know,
you can love.
The body is not fireworks.
You understand?
You can love.
So yeah, I'm a lovey-dovey type person.
Exactly. I was going to go there. The personality, because all the tweets we are getting is that you're quiet, soft-spoken. But you're not the person we used to see in the movie and on Instagram. Is it a switch, or your personality is truly?
I'm very quiet. I'm very reserved. I love my room. I don't like being in everyone's faces. No,
sadly,
I stay to myself.
We have to end this discussion.
No.
I'll bring you back. No problem. Friday, we'll just talk about all you're doing business.
No problem. No problem.
Definitely. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an interesting discussion, ladies, I guess. How has it been today? Nima, it was good to be.
Very nice.
I didn't know the question was for us.
Don't mind already. But I love the
Veronica.
discussion around them.
All right.
Prenuptial, yeah.
Okay, Obi,
Should be considered.
Stopway, thank you so much. Ladies, you can now watch the repeat broadcast of Your View by 11 p.m. We hope you enjoyed the show today. Have a fabulous day.